Welcome, welcome, welcome. Chill, heavy. Don't give him no more, heavy. Welcome to the Keep It Buck podcast, man. Glad to have y'all back. Where we at? This is season 2, episode 14. Glad y'all tuned back in. Kick it with me. Today we gonna kick it too. I got some stuff on the prerequisites and I got a topic as usual. But I also want to kick it. I think it's important that I use my platform to speak honestly about just everything that's going on. I'm not gonna go too much into it because if you know me, you already know how I feel. I've always been the one to give it up. Like, no matter what job I'm in, what situation I'm in, if I see some prejudice or some racial tendencies happening, I'm going to be the one to say something about it. No matter the consequences, you know what I'm saying? If something is obviously racist, it's obviously racist. Or even if it look racist, I'm going to question that. I used to work at a, I feel like I might have told this story in the podcast before, but maybe not. Probably not, because it was pretty rough. But I used to have a job back at Career, back in Flint. And the manager, he went to Powers. People who not from Flint, Powers is like it's a private school. We don't have any private schools in Flint, but it's a private school. So, you know what I'm saying? Some niggas went there. Not many, though. There wasn't a bunch of black people who went there. But, so he went to a private school. I think he went to the University of Michigan. But he's a white boy, right? Like, he's just white. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I ain't saying that. Anything wrong with that. He's just a standard white boy, though. You know what I'm saying? He watched basketball or he watched sports. You say dude, you know what I mean? His Dockers selection, his slack selection is crazy. It's crazy. Shoes, trash though. Let me tell you something about white people. White people, and I know I talk about us spending money too much on stuff we shouldn't be spending money on. But you don't have to spend a bunch of money on shoes. But white people do not give a two flying fucks about their shoes. And I hate it. For one, they don't even match. It don't even matter. Them New Balances never match what's going on up top. Ever. And they will wear the shoes past, they will wear the shoes past when they're supposed to wear them. You was been supposed to stop wearing them. Look at the shoe. Look what it's doing. But anyway, I digress. He was just a regular white boy. But anyway, so my girl at the time worked there. My homeboy worked there. Chris worked there. And it was just opportunities that they kept getting passed up on. And I felt like because it was they were black. But I didn't say much. They had been there for a while, and he had leaned on them for so much. And it wasn't just like I had these relationships with him, so I felt this way about him. He would trust them with certain things, but not trust them with other things. Like, they were on the list if the alarm went off to go up there with the key and handle it with the police. It was the managers, and it was them. So you have that trust for me to do that. And it's in the hood, mind you. It's in the hood. So if the alarm went off in the middle of the night, I trust your black ass to go over there, check it out with the police. You got a key and all that. Check it out, my nigga. I trust you to do that. But I don't trust you to pull you in here for an interview for a manager spot. Just stuff like that. And then he hired somebody on the staff at a lower level, and he advanced to the top very quickly. But he knew him. He personally knew him. He was a white guy, and there was another white guy there who was cool. Matt Ferg. Shout out to Matt Ferg. What up, Matt? But Matt was just a hustler. He just knew how to move, so it wasn't no discredit to him, but he kept getting trained in different areas and, you know, advancing and getting stuff he didn't deserve because he wasn't that good of a worker, honestly. But he just knew how to move, but he now he's just been added to that list because he's white, of these people getting advancements who don't deserve it over these black people who do get advancements. But anyway, my manager never really liked that I spoke my mind. I was an okay worker. You know what I mean? I was good in my area, but I never wanted to exceed and excel there. So it wasn't like I was a crazy good worker, but I was a good worker. But we never really saw eye to eye. He never liked when we had meetings, but he didn't like when I spoke up in the meetings. No matter how precise I chose my words, no matter how non-aggressive I was sounding, it was always an issue. At first, I'm sure it was my tone and how I was speaking. So when he talked to me about it, I said, cool, I'm going to check myself. And I made sure that when I, had my chance to speak, the way that I addressed him like he was my superior, like he was my boss. Because, frankly, he was my boss, so cool. I made sure I addressed him that way and made sure my tone was, how it should be, not to call him out in front of others. I raised my hand, all that. I did all that. And I, thought, cool, that went well. He was able to hear the grievances of the staff. Boom, boom, meeting over. They called me in the office, him and it was a quality manager. I'm not gonna say her name because I still rock with her, and I don't want her to think it's no ill malice. But they called me in there, and they're like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "What up?" Like, I'm like, "What you mean?" But they weren't talking. They thought that I was. It was like, I can't do stuff like I said. Do stuff like what? But what happened was when I asked the question or made the statement, boom, it was a good statement, and it was just how people felt, and people maybe weren't saying it, and I was able to convey it to him. And from there, like, the more questions just arose, and like everything erupted based on now people felt comfortable saying, airing their grievances. So I'm like, yo, I just said one thing, you know what I mean? Like, but anyway, it got to a point where I used to tell him, because he wouldn't necessarily say that he didn't like me, but it got to a point where I used to tell him, look, I'm just gonna come to work. You pay me what you owe me, bro. I don't like you. You don't like me, and I'm cool. That's cool. Just pay me what you owe me. And then the last straw was another manager's position open, and my homie Boo, who had been there, who was also qualified, had got looked over for another white guy. White guy was also qualified, but he had got looked over, and I ended up in his office having a conversation, and he said, "You call me a racist?" I said, "I didn't call you racist. I said it looks like you're running a white boys club in here. That's what it looked like to me. All these white people keep advancing whether they deserve to or not. And all these black people, these loyal black people who have who are more qualified to take the job, are not getting these jobs. So I'm saying it looks like a white boys club." He was like, I can call HR. I said, call him. I pushed the phone over to him. Go ahead, call him. What you gonna call him and say? I'm not scared of you and what power you think that you may have. But it got to the point where we was having a conversation. I told him, I think you're just regular racist. It's different levels of racist white people. And I said, I don't think you hate me, bro. Like, I know you don't hate me. You don't want to kill me. But you don't think I'm as smart as you. You don't think I could be as smart as you. You don't think that I deserve the same things that you deserve. You don't care about my preservation like you care about your preservation or somebody of your tone, and I mean of your skin tone. You're regular racist. And I've always just kept it real. He just didn't know how to respond, because I'm not attacking you. I'm just letting you know how I feel. But it got to a point where we were saying stuff back and forth, and I said, listen, bro, you mad because if you got a son, because he had a daughter. I said, if you had a son, he wouldn't want to be like you. He would want to be like me. And that fucks with you. So I say that to say I've always been the one to speak out against racism. And this shit, it gotta stop. The George Floyd situation honestly, it did kind of open some eyes where you thought that, yo, that's what it took. Like, you should have been knew that. But it's some white people who just they didn't want to be aware though. So they didn't want to be aware of what's going on. And then it's racist white people. So it's different types of white people. I play basketball with a white boy upstairs every day, 4 or 5 days a week. Cool. That's my guy. But I had conversations with him. So, and this is my advice to everybody who has a white friend, or who I said a white friend, who has white friends, or white people whom they talk to. And if you have a relationship with them, maybe not if you just work with them, but if you have a relationship with them, I talk to every single white person I have a relationship with. If we talking, if we have come in contact, I talk to them. Hey, how you feel about what's going on? Because I want to hear it, and I want you to try to be honest with me. Because no matter, you'll never understand what I'm going through. But honestly, I'll never understand your perspective if you don't break it down to me. So break down your perspective, and then I'll break down my perspective too. But I just want you to know what my perspective is, and I have to know what your perspective is on something like this. If we, in any way, have a relationship, friendship, I gotta know where you stand on something like this. This is no different to me than like a child molester. Like, if you cool with not locking up child molesters and all these molestations happening and nothing going down, then I can't be cool with you. No matter what your race, sex, age, nationality, none of that is. I can't, dog. And so when I was talking to him, I explained it like this. I said, this is how black people are. If I'm walking, I moved to a town, and on Tuesday, I see a gay dude getting jumped, getting fucked up, and I know it's because he's gay. They saying, you fag, you know what I'm saying? They saying all this, and it's because he's gay. I ain't saying I'm going to jump in and stop it. Because I try to stay away from fights and all that. So, but I'm be like, dang, that's kind of fucked up. That happened Tuesday. Friday, I see it happen to another gay dude. 2 weeks later, I see it happen again. Now I have to say something. Or I got to get the fuck out of that town. Something's wrong. I'm not gay. But just because I'm not gay don't mean that I can't understand what they're doing to that gay dude is fucked up. So what black people do is no matter what you are, we're not going to let that go down. We're not going to let that go down because we too compassionate to let somebody just be continually fucked up like that. Like, fam, even if we was out here killing cops, eventually it'd be like, ugh. We would have some compassion because they got families too. We don't want to kill them. Now, that being said, when a cop get hurt, man, at this point, I don't even have any emotions for it. But anyway, I broke it down like that to him. And then when I said, white people, y'all walking right by it. Like it's cool, like they ain't got nothing to do with me. And y'all just keep walking right by it. And y'all keep walking right. Sure, y'all not the one fucking the gay dude up and beating him up because he's gay and hurling homosexual or homophobic slurs at him. Sure, you're not the one doing it, but you watching him get fucked up in your own city. And you ain't saying nothing. That don't bother you at all? How could you so you can't think of him as your equal? Because I guarantee you, you break down that same scenario, Tuesday, somebody getting jumped, boom, boom, boom. Let that been a dog. And you just walking by and just white boys just cutting dogs' heads off, playing rock music. Woo! Fam, they wouldn't even get to Friday doing that. They'd be locked up. It'd be on the news, they'd be locked up. People would be outraged. I would be outraged. I'm not even an animal lover like that, but fam, you just gonna cut a dog head off and just wild out like that? Hey, cuz, that's crazy. But if that happened with a dog, it's no way somebody could be killing. It'd be widespread that people were killing dogs. And then it got to a point where video surveillance happened. It would not be possible for this to take place. For one organization to be killing this many dogs nationwide for fucking 100 years or however long the police force has been around and they've been doing this legally. Because first it was just illegal and nobody just said nothing. But legally they've been doing this now because they've been getting away with it. It's no way that this would persist for 100 years. It's no way. It's no way anybody can sit across from me and tell me that if this was going on with animals and they was just killing dogs and cats in the street like this, that it would be all fucking okay. Because it wouldn't. To nobody. Not even to me, fam. Like, to nobody. It's not cool, but that goes to show you, white people, I'm talking to y'all, even the ones who do not consider yourself racist, it goes to show you, if you've never said nothing about it, or if it didn't rub you the wrong way, you cannot think of me as your equal. You can't. You can't look at me and consider us cool, and consider me a friend, and for me to do a favor for you, and look at George Floyd and not fucking see me. Look at Tamir Rice and not see me. Look at Ahmaud Arbery and not fucking see me. You can't do it if you look at me as an equal. But that goes to show you, white people, you don't think of that I'm equal. Even if you don't want to fucking kill me, you don't think I'm equal. But my compassionate ass and my forgiving ass forgive you for being ignorant. Yeah, I said it. Most white people are very fucking ignorant. I got some white friends who are ignorant to a degree about this situation. Very ignorant about life. This is life and death. Most white people are very fucking ignorant. And I say that to you, meaning it, and I'm talking to my white friends as well, if this never rubbed you the wrong fucking way. If you couldn't see what was going on, and I'm not just talking about police brutality, just every fucking thing. I was actually in one of my group threads, which I'm no longer in no more, but shout out to all those guys in Texas, and you should have seen how it was when it was just like, oh, you're not watching the NFL? What? You're not watching the NFL? A couple guys was just trying to get understanding. A couple guys was like, yo, that shit ain't gonna matter because he ain't watching. People gonna watch. Like, that shit didn't rub y'all the wrong way? That he tried to take a knee for black people getting fucking smoked by the cops? And the way that they treated him? Willingly? And said, can't nobody kneel? That didn't rub y'all the wrong way? I know racism still existed before that. Of course I know that. But for them to be so blatant with it and tell you, you can't take a knee, boy. Then don't worry, shut up. Because everybody's still going to tune in and watch on Sundays. Even your brother and your sister and your cousin. They'll never stop watching this. They think that this sport and this entertainment and the money we pay y'all is more valuable than your thoughts in your life. So that didn't rub y'all the wrong way? But I got a homeboy in the NFL, so I still tuned in and I watched his games. I tried to watch his games. But I kept my TV off the NFL. And it wasn't like, yo, I just don't want the ratings. Fuck the ratings. It's how I feel. For you to be that blatant about your racism and think that I'm going to take it sitting down or I'm going to still support you in the same way that I did before is absolutely ludicrous. But hey, do what you want. I'm not here. This is not the podcast where you're going to hear me just bash black people. I try to help black people every day. And I would take help from black people every day. Every podcast. I didn't even introduce it. Season 2, episode 14. Keep It a Buck podcast. Keep It a Buck podcast. This is your first time tuning in. It's about relationships, black men's emotions, God, self-awareness, and black women's value within our culture. So, that's what I always talk about, but especially this episode. And we just kicking it today because what I'm talking about right now is not even actually the topic. And I also want to shout out my YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Stitcher, podcast app listeners, however you consume and digest the podcast. I really, really appreciate you, man. I appreciate the comments, appreciate the suggestions. They just mean a lot. But I forgot where I was at, honestly. You know what, man? I'm gonna turn some tunes on. Got me yelling, man. I never come on this podcast and yell. What I got for him? How can I turn it up? I ain't got no time for music. That's why I go about somebody else talk. We go here. Just vibe out real quick. Shout out to my boy Marky Bassey. Shout out to Will. He put me on. Kalani on this joint. Oh, wait. Damn. Lord forgive me for all this cursing as well. I don't mean to. I need to curb that. But before I leave the situation, for everybody talking about how people are rioting or how people are reacting, and everybody commenting to those people talking about how people are reacting, black people, I'm specifically talking to black people now. Do not judge how somebody is demonstrating their protest. I don't care how it is. I'm not going out there and I'm not on the front lines protesting, and I'm also not out there looting and stealing, because neither one of them are particularly me. This is how I choose to speak up. I choose to speak up every day. I choose to come to the aid of the black people who are around me all the time. But do something. So don't sit there and condemn people for rioting and doing all this and you not doing nothing. Do something, dog. In the words of DQ when he was talking to one of our homeboys, we fighting outside the Purple Moon and he trying to hold DQ back. The Q said, you see your homeboys out there fighting? Get in there, do something. So do something, dog. Don't sit there and tell me, hey, no, but they shouldn't be. See, this ain't right. You destroy your own neighborhood. We ain't got no fucking neighborhoods. Dang, Lord forgive me. We don't have any neighborhoods. Right? So don't worry about the neighborhoods, dog. Don't worry about nothing but protesting however you want to protest. Because y'all talking about neighborhoods and this and that. All of it is structured how they want to structure. And we built it all anyway. So fuck it all up. If you want to protest that way, however you want to protest, you can get down. And I ain't gonna say nothing to you. Every black person I see, I speak to, I try to ask them how they doing everything. I try to let you know I'm on your side as much as possible. I don't care if I don't know you, I know you. Because you are George Floyd. And I am George Floyd. So even if I don't know you, I know you. But I'm done yelling, man. Come on, talk to him, man. Okay, take it home, Kalani. I'm R&B head, really. I do some rap, but I'm R&B head. I'm gonna shut up while they group out. And YouTube, chill. Don't try to flag me. I'm talking over the music, so we Gucci. This is me. This ain't them. Oh, you hear that? That's me, YouTube. Zuckerberg. Well, he don't do YouTube, but I think he got his hands on everything. Him and Bezos. It's my dance to everything. Hey. So, in the midst of everything that I just talked about, let's not forget COVID-19 is going on. It's happening. It here. Like, people are dying from that specifically. Specifically, we are dying from it. The most, it seems. I was completely wrong about COVID. When it first came out and all these white people was getting it, I knew it was a white people disease. I'm like, aha! Finally, retribution. But I was wrong. Because we started to get it. Before I even, I would get ahead of myself. I'm going to go to the Growing Up Black segment. Because, oh man, it's great to be black now as ever. To be proud to be black. But, so Growing Up Black is a segment where I talk about when something, it most likely happened to you. If you was living in the hood, this most likely happened to you. And today's Growing Up Black is seat check. Who remembers seat check? Seat check started the most fights in the hood between kids. And white people, I know y'all don't know this because y'all always had enough chairs for everybody to sit down. But in the hood, it was only 2 chairs on the porch and then like it maybe a bucket or something we turned into a chair. So it was 3 max that you can sit on and maybe 1 spot on the rail that was okay. So you got 5, 6 niggas over there, ain't that many chairs. If you sitting down, that's valuable. That's like cigarettes in jail, a seat in the hood. So you sitting down, you got to get up and go somewhere. I eat an ice cream truck when he banging down the street. By the way, ice cream truck, fuck you. I eat an ice cream truck when you working down the street, or your mom's call you, whatever. You got to leave. When you get up, you say seat check. And seat check means you can sit there while I'm gone. Well, when I come back, I want my seat because I caught seat check. Cool. It was understood as something that's supposed to be honored. But you know what happened? We never discussed stipulations. Hey man, you been gone 10 fucking minutes. You mean to tell me you still want this seat? Nigga, get up on my seat. You ain't getting up, then nigga try to grab you. Hold on, don't put your hands on me, homeboy. And let's not forget, when you fight in the hood, usually, unless you from like the hood, and the fight you have is crazy. But when you fight in the hood, you fighting your friends. That's the only people out there. Nobody's coming to fight you. This is not like Michael Jackson Bad video. Nobody coming to fight. You're fighting your friends. So now you trying to pull me up out the seat in front of my homeboys, my nigga? Like, you think I'm going to let you sun me, cuz? You got to be crazy. Boom. Scrap happens. We never define the rules to seat check. Is there a certain distance in which you can go? Because if you go around the corner, I mean, you're out of sight. Yeah, do I have to? You have to be in my line of sight. Is it 200 yards? If you go past that, I can have your seat. What makes it your seat? How long do you have to be sitting there before a valuable seat check can be said? Before you can use that? If you just sat down and got to get back up, I don't know if it's yours. So, seat check. It started the most fights in the hood. And black people, I know kids probably don't even do that no more. Dang. But we got to get better with these stipulations and rules. Like, stop letting my air out. Or if you got the air on in the car and the window down. Fam. The air gonna stay consistent no matter what it is. It's not reading how much hot air is coming in. If I want the wind, I want to feel the wind and the air, I'm good. You got your own side, man. You know what? I was wrong. This is the podcast where I talk about black people. Black mothers and aunties, I got something to say to y'all. All these sayings and fairy tales y'all say are not real. You're eating me out of house and home. It's the same thing. Stop being dramatic. Enough is enough. I'm not going to put my eye out twirling this. Let me have some fucking fun. And I love y'all. Alright, let's move on. Like I was saying previously, all that's going on right now, along with COVID-19. Which, let's hear me out, conspiracy theorists. Here's my thing about conspiracy theories. I respect conspiracy theories. Some of them. I respect some conspiracies. Some conspiracy theories. But the ones that are most widely discussed are the ones I least respect. Because here's what I don't understand about conspiracy theories. Yeah, let's use the Illuminati for example. How secret can this society have been for this many years if you know about it? Cool, let's just say somehow it got out. They were able to keep it under secret for that long. And you don't think that they can start something again without you knowing. Because you've been talking about Illuminati since like 2009, dog. Like, they still got it? Do they still got it? And like, what you got to do to be... Why would you know it? Why would you know the plan for COVID-19? And why y'all keep talking about the government with COVID-19 when it's happening all over the world? The government want to keep us in so they can put up them towers. Fam, when that first was going on, if you went outside, it wasn't like they weren't patrolling the streets, y'all. Like, y'all making that up. So COVID is real. I'm sure, for one, they were confused about it, so some of the information that they put out was false. And then I'm sure they're not telling us everything. Yes, that's what happens in government. I understand that. But that don't mean that these plans that y'all saying, which aren't coming into fruition, and that's my other thing about conspiracy theories. When it don't happen, y'all never come back and be like, my bad. I got y'all next time though. But I was wrong on this one. Y'all never say nothing. Y'all just wait for the next thing and then run with that. But COVID-19 is going on, and we are getting it at a particularly high rate. And this episode is your wealth is your health. And not just physical, but just wealth overall. I mean, health overall. And my first question would be, where does your health rank on your priority list? Because I don't think we've been, I guess, taught, in that manner, the correct priority ranking of life and living. I always say this. In this country, we respect paper too much. Literal paper too much. Money, degrees, anything that you can hang on a wall or put in your wallet, we respect it way too much. We give people with money too many passes. We listen to people who have degrees who maybe don't have the knowledge, but that's all. When you come with that paper in America, whether it's money or some type of certificate of completion of something, you are automatically put into a respect field, which shouldn't go any further than you should be respected as whatever you got that certificate in, or you should be respected that you can take care of yourself. But I don't care how much money you have. That shouldn't be number one on your list. And education shouldn't be number one on your list. Being educated should. Because you can change the world without what we have set up and deemed to be the education system and the education course. I had this argument with my brother a while ago. It was when the whole, and if y'all don't know, if y'all can't see, I'm a Floyd fanatic. That's my guy. George Floyd back there. That's another Floyd I'm gonna draw. Another one with him, Canelo down there. Where we at? Another one of him over there. But if y'all don't know, I'm a Floyd fanatic. But anyway, this was when the Floyd can't read, when that was just a hot, tagline, and joke or whatever. And we were having a conversation about it. And I said, that don't really matter. And he blew up on me like, "Are you crazy? What do you mean? That don't matter." I said, "For him, that you sound stupid if you can't read." I said, "Listen, man, even outside of boxing, he's doing well with money. So he has an expertise at something. He knows something in which he's doing, and he's the greatest in the field in which he chose to, in the route in which he chose to go." It doesn't say how many people in the Bible who we follow, their reading skills was never mentioned. These are people who changed the world. Their reading skills were never mentioned. So don't take it out of context. I do think it's important. I got a newfound love for reading myself, but I do think it's important that you are able to search, obtain, and retain information. And the best way to do that is through reading books. I do agree with that. That being said, doesn't mean that's number one on the priority list, reading per se. I think searching, obtaining, and retaining knowledge should be, but reading ain't number one, fam. Just because that's the way it's always been taught and all that, and it is good generally for most people, that is a wise thing. But if we're talking about somebody who's been doing something all their life and mastered it to the point, so that's one thing, without any compensation, and mastered it to the point to be the richest athlete ever, one of the richest entertainers ever. So to take that mastery and then turn it into profit and be able to communicate well enough, be able to set up deals well enough, be able to raise his kids well enough, be able to impact his community well enough. Why is reading so high on the list, or why does that matter in that scenario? What are you getting out of being able to read that he's not getting out of life? Not to mention he's happy. Well, there's some other problems going on emotionally and that he needs to uncover. But for the most part, he's happy. Living his life his way, the way that he intended for it to go. So I say that to say, I think our priority list, and we respect paper too much, our priority is messed up in this country, and it's just a taught and learned behavior. Life is more important than anything. But we don't teach to value that, whether in the schools, in the home, or in the church, because the church is too busy trying to scare you into being a saint. And saying what you're doing is you a heathen. So they're trying to scare you into being a saint. So they're not really the best at the priority list as well, either. And it's especially not education. But where does your health ranked on your priority list? And in black people in particular, eating black is dangerous. Quotations, eating black. It's dangerous. I don't think it's anything wrong with seasoning your food. I do think it's wrong with requiring certain types of seasoning or chasing the seasoning that used to get way back in the day, like your granny do it. Food can be good without all of that seasoning, or food can be good without all these toppings. The things that we eat affect how we live as a culture in a negative way. We aren't the culture you usually go to, or the most acceptance of eating differently? Man, since probably 20, I've ate cleaner. I fell off lately, so I ain't gonna front. But I've ate cleaner. You know what I mean? No beef. And some beef is good for you, but no beef, no pork. I only eat fish from the sea, but I don't eat a lot of soul food. For one, I'm a risk reward eater, right? So even when I was eating pork, I'm not eating no ribs, dog. Get them out of my face, man. You understand how sloppy it is? Ribs get stuck in your teeth too. I don't eat stuff to get stuck in your teeth often. I don't like that. Ribs get stuck in your teeth and they're so messy. You can't eat them without being messy. Ain't no food that good to me that requires me to look like a fool. It ain't that good. Same thing with these seafood restaurants where anytime you go and you gotta put on gloves to eat. Come on, dog. Come on, man. Come on, dog. It ain't worth it, man. It's not. And then like with crab legs, you ain't even getting that much meat. Come on, man. Get off my face, dog. But eating, I don't eat a lot of stuff, and people say to me all the time, like, "Oh, you ain't black. You don't eat like a black person." And some of my food is a little what you would describe as what a black person would describe as bland. But it's seasoned on it. I like it. But I'm saying, where does your health rank on your priority list? Because I think as black people, eating what black people are supposed to eat is more important than your health. We often, and weight can be associated with bad health, but that's not the only thing that's associated with bad health. Just because the weight hasn't displayed itself on you yet does not mean what's going on inside your body is okay. Because what that's doing is laying dormant, and then eventually it's just going to shock the hell out of you. Somewhere in your late 30s, so get ready if you're not doing any type of working out. But where does your health rank on your priority list? Where does some type of physical workout land on your priority list? But where does your health rank on your priority list? Physically, are you doing something to stay somewhat fit? And then outside of physical, mental, what are you doing for your mental health? I've had podcasts where I discuss our mental health and our emotions and how we have been forced to or taught to or followed the trend to just suppress them and not deal with them. So where does that rank? Where does your mental health rank on your priority list? Is your mental health ahead of getting your baby the new J's? Because he got to have new J's, even if it's gonna hurt your pockets at this time, which is gonna leave you in an emotional state that you do not like to be in, because you ain't gonna have no money and you're gonna feel broke. Even when you don't have no money, don't mean you broke, but you're gonna feel broke and you're gonna feel broken. But your baby got them J's. So is it more important that your baby get them new J's or that you are mentally healthy? And a lot of times it's I want my baby to have them J's. Because what's on the priority list is my baby looking good. And I'm not saying don't take care of your children. Don't keep them fly. That's cool. But I just broke down a scenario where this mother would have had to choose between getting her baby the new J's and her mental health. And she chose to get her baby the new J's, even though he has J's and he has shoes to wear. So where did health rank on her priority list? So I just want you to ask yourself that. Where does health rank on my priority list? I'm getting money. That's what niggas love to say. I'm getting money. I'll sleep when I die. You sound like a fool. When I hear niggas say that, it sound like a fool or a rapper. And it's cool for rappers to just say stuff because they just say stuff. That's their job, is to get behind a mic and just say stuff. So it's cool when rappers just say stuff. Well, when people say I sleep when I die, you sound like a fool and you sound like a nigga who don't have his own mind, who's just trying to sound like somebody else. That's stupid. Where's your health rank on your priority list? Attention, black people. Sleep is a part of your health. You do need sleep to be at your healthiest. No matter how uncool naps seem. Let me tell you something about black men. Black men will not let you catch them sleep. It's so conditioned and so worried about everything in this fucked up world. I think it's been passed down from generation to generation. Black men won't even admit when they're asleep. You catch a black man asleep. You come in the room, bust in the room. He wake up. What's up, dog? You asleep? Nah. Shit. Sitting here watching this game. You call somebody, answer the phone. Hello? First of all, a black dude asks you, was you sleep like something was wrong with you being asleep? Hello? Dang, nigga, you sleep, nigga? But a black dude wanted, man, go on, nigga. Oh, shit. Sitting here, I was sitting here on Instagram. What up? What you got? Black men will not admit when they are asleep for some reason. It does not matter if they sleepy as hell. Do not let somebody just be chilling and mess around and take a nap. Niggas just climb. This nigga asleep. I'm asleep. If I am asleep, that means I need it. So black man who was taking naps all the time, you need to stay your black ass at home and and go to sleep. All right. But let me move on. But where does your health? Sleep is a part of your health. Where does your health rank on your priority list? And then I also was questioning how many people are responsible for how healthy your lifestyle is. Because I've stayed with somebody before and what they cooked wasn't really healthy, but I didn't really want to cook. And that's what was being cooked in the house. But I could cook myself. So was that person, how much of them was responsible for my health? And I equate that to when I say how many people are responsible for you and your lifestyle. I equate that to girls with gay guys. Where I'm from, it wasn't a lot of openly gay guys. But one thing that they all had was a team of girls who supported how flamboyant and frankly disrespectful these gentlemen were. Calling themselves bitches, being the loudest, twerking in inappropriate places, just doing stuff like that. But why they felt okay doing it? Because that group of girls around, I'm telling you, go back and look and think about it. There was no gay dude who did anything gay in public without the support of a team of women behind him supporting him. It wasn't a group of gay guys like, oh, go Don Terrius. That wasn't happening. But it was the girls who was doing it. So how much were they responsible for his lifestyle? Now, I'm not a homophobe. I've already had this discussion on the podcast. I'm not a homophobe, but I do talk honestly about every situation, including homosexuality, to a certain degree. It's a certain degree line where I can't go to unless I'm talking to a homosexual, because I would like them to get their perspective off. But I'm saying, how much are those girls responsible for how that guy, not his sexual orientation, but his behavior that is associated with his sexual orientation? How much are those girls responsible for? So how many people are responsible for how healthy your lifestyle is? If you have friends that smoke cigarettes and drink liquor every day, or a roommate, and that just gets you turned up, how responsible is that roommate? And how much of that responsibility is yours? If all your friends are doing something, if it's not labeled cool to do that, if just everybody you're around is doing something that is not indicative of good health, how much are they being responsible? And I think it would make more sense, not physically, but emotionally and mentally. Well, yeah, let's say emotionally. Everybody, so for example, people in the hood don't go to therapists. We don't do therapy. We hide our emotions. We don't talk about it. And they come out in some way that is not healthy for us or the people who are around us at some point. So that's just how it is in the hood. But how much responsibility should I take for the environment that I'm in and nobody doing what they should do, which is tending to their mental health? And so I don't tend to my mental health because my auntie didn't, and my uncle didn't, and my dad didn't, my brother didn't, my cousin didn't, my pastor didn't, my teacher didn't. Nobody who was around tended to their emotional and mental health. So when I don't do it, how can I be held 100% responsible for behavior that was taught to me. Even if I have thoughts in my head of maybe I need to fix this, if that makes me abnormal, then I do not feel comfortable. So how much of that responsibility lies on me? How much of that responsibility lies on my community and my upbringing? So I'm asking you that about your health. How many people are responsible for your health? And honestly, I didn't think of an answer before I came on the pod, but I would say you are mostly responsible for your own health. Mostly. But that does not mean entirely. There are things that happen to you. There are things that happen around you. There are things that happen to people whom you know who have scarred you mentally. And I was just talking to my homegirl the other day about this. When it comes to scars, if you've ever had a scar, if you played outside, it takes a millisecond to get hurt. And it can take a lifetime to heal. We all have scars on us to this day from our childhood. We had scars that are gone, and we have scars that still remain. So if those scars are not treated properly, then they can take a lifetime to heal. So if you have been scarred by others and something that was out of your control, then, and you didn't address that, you still have that scar. Now, you have to go back with that person who got that scar, go pick them up and take them with you wherever you at. How far you traveled and how you got over those scars, or thought you got over those scars, go back and get that person. But you have to address the scar, and you have to deal with it properly, or it will be with you for the rest of your life. That being said, you are not the only person responsible for that scar. If somebody was supposed to be watching me and I injured myself on the stove, I am not fully responsible for that scar. You know why? Because it wasn't thought that I was responsible enough to keep out of harm's way, so somebody was appointed to do that. I.e. my teacher, my pastor, my babysitter, my parents, my older sibling. The people who are around us, the community who are around us, who are supposed to take that on that contract to ensure my safety, because it is already a universal opinion that I cannot ensure my safety in this manner. That's why we have teachers. That's why we have counselors. That's why we have pastors. That's what parenthood is. So if you developed a scar that took a millisecond to get, but it is not handled properly, it will be with you for the rest of your life, and you cannot run from that scar. So how many people are responsible for your health? Because in this instance, it's not just you, and you have to accept it. That's another thing black people do. We want to take all responsibility. Oh, well, if I had did this, if I had did that. You were a fucking kid. But you want to blame yourself because your dad was hitting your mom and you didn't jump in and stop him. You were a kid. But to this day, you don't forgive that kid. You still think he should have did something different. So you look at him cowardly. And you try to separate yourself from him. But he is you and you is he. So you have to understand that wasn't his fault. He was a kid. That wasn't his fault that it happened. It wasn't his fault that it was not stopped. So those two people who were involved in those actions are just as much responsible for your mental health in that moment and the recovery from that as, or even more than you. So you are not the only person responsible for your mental health. You are mostly responsible. And it takes a period of reflection and growth to you even get to that point. Because I don't think you're fully responsible for your health, or mostly responsible for your mental health, even at 21, 22 years old. You don't know shit. You don't know jack shit. You don't know it. You haven't reflected on anything. You don't even recognize the scars that you have and why you acting out like that. So you cannot be mostly responsible. You are somewhat responsible though. This is not a pass for you as a youngster, but you are not yet mostly responsible because you do not know how. You didn't even realize the scar took place. You did not realize who was responsible for the scars. But just ask yourself that. How many people are responsible for your health and how healthy your lifestyle is? You're mostly responsible, so take control of what you can take control of, but do not forget when somebody else had some responsibility in it. Forgive them, right? Because you still ain't forgive yourself, maybe for being around them, letting them do it. Forgive them. Understand that they had a part of played a role in it, but forgive them, and that's a part of that forgiveness. You played a role in this. You broke the contract where you were supposed to be responsible for my well-being. And you didn't do that. You broke the contract. You were wrong. But so you have some responsibility in how I turned out. You have some responsibility in how I deal with that moment. You have some responsibility in this scar. But guess what? I forgive you. I acknowledge that you have some responsibility for one, and then I forgive you. That's it. And next, speaking of mental health, so you got to know yourself, even the vulnerable parts. And I guess that goes back to what I was just referencing about a scar or about something that happened. The worst parts of your life or the worst decisions that you make, you should be the most familiar with that person. And oftentimes what happens when we make those bad decisions, we can't wait for time to pass. And we want to be as far away from that decision and that person as possible. But that person created a scar that you have to properly heal. You have to know that person and why they made that mistake. So you got to know yourself, even the vulnerable parts. We as people, I'm not even going to talk about other people, but that's a part of what racism is. Because white people are able to see their vulnerable parts. That's why they hate us. They just want to be it so bad. But anyway, and they feel vulnerable. But anyway, you have to, for black people, you got to know yourself, even the vulnerable parts. So, your health is your wealth, dog. And your wealth is your health. So, you can chase money and chase an image and chase respect and chase the way you're looked at and chase for followers all you want and get all the money you want. But if you ain't got your health intact, it matters not. You won't even be able to enjoy it the way you think you can enjoy it. And you're trying to hide something. So it's cool to get money though and chase after all that and you want to get followers, that's cool. But just make sure you prioritize it. And know your vulnerable parts, because no matter how much you try to run from it, that is you. That person who made that mistake is you. And people oftentimes say, well, I grew from that. Cool. If you still got that scar and you hadn't addressed that scar, you grew, but the scar grew with you. Look at your legs right now, y'all. Look at the scars that happened to you when you was little. Look how big the scars is in referencing adjacent to how small you were then. Your scars grow with you. Stretch marks. Your scars grow with you. So just because you say, I've grown from that, no, you grew. And so is the scar. But if you didn't handle it properly, it's still there. And guess what? It's bigger than ever. No matter how much you try to ignore it. Because we'll look in the mirror at ourselves and just get used to ignoring our flaws. What we deem to be a flaw. Or what we deem to be a scar. Because we just choose when to address those scars. Instead of taking the proper steps to heal them. So you got to know yourself, even the vulnerable parts. Especially, I talk about black men all the time, about black women as well. It's fine to be vulnerable. Black women are so strong that they develop a psyche that vulnerability does not lie with them. They won't be vulnerable. They won't show that they're vulnerable. They won't admit their vulnerabilities because they take it as a sign of weakness. Then they don't want to display that to a subculture who they feel doesn't appreciate them already, i.e. black men. They won't show you that they're vulnerable. They're not going to put that out there, their vulnerabilities. And I think that in turn turns into them not knowing themselves and them chasing a guy, or a guy meaning more to them than they do to themselves, because they haven't addressed their vulnerabilities. So even when they get the guy, they realize that is not even the guy they want, because he doesn't speak to her vulnerabilities. And when you get somebody and y'all stationary and okay, now you got what you think you want, that's when you have time to reflect and remember, oh shit, what about these vulnerabilities? And then I was speaking about physical earlier, and mental health leads to physical health. There are a number of sciences that prove this, that mental health leads to physical health. I got a homegirl who revealed to me she had a stroke. She's in great shape. Nice body. Great shape. You know what I mean? Was doing everything regular, but it came from stress. And she had a stroke. So as much as we ignore our mental health, it can lead to our physical health in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? Like, it can lead there, and then we'll never be the same again because we try to address something that's... The brain is so important. I just finished reading this book about the art of memory and like where it came from. But the brain is so important, but so ignored. And we only take in what people tell us we should be taking in. That's what's preached to be taken in, even in religion. We only take, instead of being taught to study the word and take from it what you will, was told how to feel about the word. Just give me the word. Or just tell me, hey, these are the classes we have available if you want to take this route. But don't make it seem like I gotta go to college. And I used to say this all the time. People used to look at me crazy. Listen. My kids don't want to go to college, they ain't got to. Frankly, it's a certain point even in high school where I wouldn't even make them go. My kid had a billion-dollar idea and knew how to cultivate it and was ready to take steps in that direction of what they feel like they were called to do. Why am I going to make you go in there and take biology or trig? Why am I going to make you do that if you've got it figured out? Caleb won a box. If Caleb good enough to go pro at 16 and 17 and he worked hard enough, why? I'm not going to make him go to school. People look at me, I don't give a fuck with nobody. I'm not going to make you do that. Now, if you just been a regular kid, you don't have a plan in any way, shape, or form, a plan that's set to change your life, then yes, I definitely want you to finish school. But I'm not going to make you finish school if you have a goal and you have something set up and planned more than most people will ever get to. And I don't even know how I got on that rant. But I don't know, I'm speaking just about mental health can lead to physical. And the last part I wanted to speak about health and wealth is try fasting. So my most successful times fasting, it was not, I had some successful ones with other people because you got accountability there, but it was fasting because I wanted something. I wanted to be closer to God. I wanted to understand myself more. I wanted to understand why I did this. So I took something away that I liked or felt like I needed, and instead of leaning on that, I leaned on God. And oftentimes we forget to lean on God. I had an episode prior to this where I was talking about Jesus being the cheat code. So when you fast, you leaning on God to give you what you thought you needed in the physical or the mental, just whatever. And your spiritual health as well is something that needs to be attained and that needs to be attended to. It needs to be nurtured. And fasting is a way to help physical, mental, spiritual, and emotionally. When you fast, you get all of these things because you want something. It's fine to want things. And if you want a closer relationship with yourself, with your Lord and Savior, with the world, just period, just understand anything. Just try fasting. So I just want to encourage everybody, let's try fasting a little more, just as a community, as a culture. And then let's see, let's finish up with the love yourself. Love somebody, love yourself. Let me get my tones ready. So this week's love yourself. This episode, fast, like I just talked about. Start slow. Take away something you want, but don't need. So just take away a want, something you want. With goals, we need to start smaller. Sometimes we start too big. We have too much confidence in ourselves. It'd be pseudo confidence. So you don't really have that much confidence that you can stop everything cold turkey. You can do this. No, I ain't doing this. That's what people say when they go on diet. I ain't doing this. I'm gonna start eating this. I'm gonna start working out. I'm gonna try one thing at a time. So try fasting. Start slow. Do a 24-hour fast. Then do a 3-day. Then make it a week. Then switch up what you're doing that week. Then make it a 2-week fast. But start slow. Start taking away something that you want but don't need, and try to replace that with God. And even if it don't go right the first couple times, it's just you growing. You in a new realm, right? You in a new field. And I said this the other day. The biggest thing that the devil can take from you is your confidence. And he's a master at that. So the biggest thing that the devil can take from you is your confidence. You stay confident in your ability to do whatever if you work with God. Because you're only human, so you're gonna make some mistakes. You're gonna stray away. That's why I didn't say if you're godly, if you work with God, because He's gonna work with you. I'm gonna work with you now. I ain't gonna leave you. I'm gonna work with you now. But you gotta work with me too now. We made in God's image. So when I talk to God, I imagine God talking to me the same way that you would talk to somebody. I'm gonna work with you, but you gotta work with me. But I will never forsake you. I will never leave you. So try fasting, man. I think that can be an important thing in our culture. And if I love somebody else, call someone and thank them for what they taught you. Oftentimes we don't receive that enough. We're not getting it enough, period, as a culture, from what we bring to society. So as the masses, we don't get thanked. So I want to make sure that in your personal circle, you at least get thanked when you should get thanked. So call somebody, text them, however you feel to reach out to them, and thank them for what they taught you. Because wherever you at, however you're listening or watching this podcast, you made it here somehow, and it wasn't on your own. There are people responsible for the person that you grew to be. And I spoke about that earlier, about how responsible are you for your own health. You're not fully responsible for your own success. There are people who aided to that without wanting anything. So call them and thank them for what they taught you. I think it's important. It's good to be humble, but it's also good to be acknowledged. So man, yeah, love yourself fast. Start fasting, man. Start slow. But love somebody else, call somebody, and thank them for what they taught you. I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. I love this episode. I always love when I'm able to address our culture and just be honest, and that's what I'm here for, man. And I really appreciate y'all once again. Remember, you can't make sense without keeping it a buck, man. Thank you for tuning in to the Keep It Buck podcast, man. I'm out here. Remember, love yourself, love somebody else.